You ever wake up and just know something's off even before you get your boots laced? That's how my morning started, just me. My dog in the kind of Colorado spring that'll freeze your toes off at sunrise and have you sweating by noon. I'd just finished walking the northern ridge fence, boots caked in mud and cedar still fresh on my gloves from fixing a busted post, when I spotted a black SUV tinted like a government spook wagon parked dead center on my gravel drive like it owned the place. Didn't hear it pull in, didn't hear the gate, nothing. Out here, that's not just rude, it's a warning. I parked my quad in the barn, grabbed my thermos, and whistled for Juna. She's a German shepherd, smarter than most people I know, and she melted into the shadows by the barn, waiting. She knows the drill. That's when the SUV's door opened, slow, theatrical, like a snake uncoiling. Out stepped a woman, maybe late 30s, dressed sharp enough to cut glass. Immaculate blazer hair, pinned nails perfect, and boots way too clean for these parts. She had a portfolio in one hand and a Glock in the other. Didn't point it, but didn't hide it either. Just dangled it like a warning. "You must be Raymond Masterson," she said, voice smooth as cold steel. "I'm here to reclaim what was stolen from my family." No pleasantries, no smile, just straight to the showdown, and yeah, I let her talk. She introduces herself as Karen McPhersonson, daughter of Dale. Oh, I knew that name. 6 years back, I helped put her old man in prison after he tried to steal my southern slope using doctored boundary maps and a crooked inspector. He was the HOA president over at Coyote Ridge Estates, loved power property, and a good forgery. Dale got 12 years. I got lawsuits and a permanent distrust of anyone who wears loafers on ranch land. "You're trespassing," I told her flat. 10 seconds to put that piece away and get back in your vehicle." She just smiled, a kind of smile that makes you check your own pulse, and handed me a sheaf of papers, all legal-looking yellow highlights everywhere. "Signed transfer agreement," she said. "You relinquished the southern 200 acres for financial relief. Here's your signature." My name was there, scribbled at the bottom, but I could see from 5 feet it wasn't mine. They'd spliced my old signature onto some Frankenstein contract. She wanted me to sign a confirmation today in person, nice and voluntary, with a Glock for encouragement. "You brought a forged document onto my property armed?" I asked, slow and steady. She just shrugged, said I should have let her father have what was his. That's when I realized she wasn't just delusional, she was dangerous. "I'm not leaving," she said, stepping closer. "You sign today, or I'll drag you to that car and make you do it with a pin in your mouth." My pulse didn't even tick. I'd seen crazy before, but never with this much polish. "You made 2 mistakes," I said. "You brought a gun, and you came to a place guarded by a dog." Juna didn't bark, didn't snarl, just launched from behind the haystack and clamped her jaws around Karen's gun arm. Gun dropped, Karen screamed, and I pinned her other arm with my knee, while Juna held on careful but firm. I called Juna off. She let go, still panting. Karen, wild-eyed and furious, was on her back, blazer-torn pistol in the dirt. I picked it up, checked the chamber, loaded safety off. I called the sheriff. "This is Ray Masterson at Black Hollow Acres. Armed trespasser on my property, injured, disarmed, detained. Better send someone quick." Sirens cracked the morning quiet. Not 5 minutes later, Deputy Tom Hardy showed up, cool as always. He'd been around for the last round of HOA madness. "What happened?" he asked, eyeing Karen, the papers, the gun. "She pulled a gun. Tried to force me to sign a forged transfer," I said. Dog stopped her. Karen, still in the dirt, started yelling about my dangerous dog and being attacked. Tom just looked at me. I shrugged. She pointed a loaded weapon. The dog responded. Tom collected the evidence papers, gun, my court order from 2 years ago, which Karen had just violated. "She's not allowed within 100 yards of this property." He whistled. "And now she's in violation. 6 ways to Sunday." Karen started in about her father, about being the real owner, about the system stealing from her family. I cut her off. "Your father forged maps, paid off a land clerk, and got caught. Now you're picking up his torch and running off a cliff." When the medics came, they checked Karen's arm. Nothing broken, just a nasty bite. Tom and I rifled through her briefcase, fake contract USB stick survey map I'd never seen, and a notebook full of obsessive detailed notes. Page after page, plans labeled reclamation lists of names, even secure signage permits, and replace waterway docks at county office. One name caught my eye, Garrett Snow County Land Records Officer, the man who'd vouched for me at Dale's trial. Tom looked grim. If Garrett's mixed up in this, we've got a storm coming. More deputies arrived, cataloged every scrap of paper, logged my security footage. Deputy Morales watched Karen's crazy unfold on 3 camera angles, front gate, barn, porch. "Your dog's got timing," she said. "Reads people better than most judges," I replied. It wasn't the video that twisted my gut. It was that notebook, especially with Garrett's name popping up. Tom came back with a highlighted page, possible link. I didn't want to believe it. Garrett stood up to Dale last time. He's not dirty. People change, ray pressure money, blackmail. And Garrett wasn't answering his phone or showing up at work. By the time the assistant DA, Colleen Reese, arrived, my yard looked like a full-on crime scene. She skipped the pleasantries, got the rundown, flipped through Karen's plans, and focused on the big picture. This wasn't just a freelance shakedown. She had phases, outreach, pressure zoning overrides. If Garrett's in it, this is federal. Morales pulled up the USB organized folders, color-coded plans, emails between Karen and G about avoiding audit logs and making sure the money got delivered. If this is what it looks like, Ray, she wasn't acting alone. I didn't sleep much that night. Not from fear I'd dealt with worse, but from calculation. When a storm's brewing, you can feel it in your bones. Next morning, I called Jody Miller, my lawyer war buddy, and the only person I trust with a land dispute. She drove in before sunrise, took one look at the evidence, and got to work asset protection injunctions, petitions to block anyone from the old HOA board from even sniffing at my property, and pressure to escalate this up to federal. That's when Garrett finally called, voice shaky, terrified. "They threatened my wife," he whispered. "Told me to alter parcel maps, backdate easements. I saved the originals, sending them to your attorney. I told him to come in before things got worse. 10 minutes later, Jody had the files. Everything we needed, scans of fake documents, payment logs, the works." Court moved fast after that. Karen was charged with assault, coercion, trespass, forgery, conspiracy, and violation of court orders. She strutted into court like she still had cards to play, but her lawyer's moral outrage act fell flat. Judge Mallister didn't blink. Belief is not legal authority. The evidence was overwhelming: footage, forged signatures, emails, the whole conspiracy unraveled in real time. ADA. Colleen pulled out surprise evidence memos from the old Coyote Ridge HOA, with Karen's name tied to land grab plans even before her father got sent upstate. Her lawyer screamed about irrelevance. Judge overruled, Karen snapped, yelling across the courtroom about my redneck squatting her father's legacy and threats of paving my land. Judge called it out. Let the record show the defendant's true temperament. Karen got dragged out screaming. Sentencing day. She was just a hollow shell. No blazer. No confidence, just shackles, and that haunted look of someone who lost the game and never figured out how. 15 years, no parole. The courtroom was dead quiet, not even a gasp. That was the end for Karen, but not the end of the story. Right after the ADA handed my lawyer a DOJ subpoena, turns out Karen's conspiracy was just the tip. Feds opened up a county-wide probe, altered deeds, manipulated zoning codes, fake committees, old HOA cronies laundering land through shell companies. Garrett turned everything over for probation, banned from public office forever. I didn't forgive him, but I understood. Fear makes people stupid. My land's safer than ever. Federal protection, updated deeds, solar panels on the barn, new fence line, cameras everywhere. Bought the old parcel next door, the last piece that used to be Coyote Ridge's line in the sand. Made it co-op pasture open to all. No more HOA signs, no gates, no boards, just a wooden marker carved by hand. Welcome to land that can't be stolen. Sometimes it takes a lunatic in a courtroom full of drama to remind folks what property rights actually mean. But I gotta ask, how many more Karens are out there waiting for their shot? If you've ever tangled with an HOA or had someone try to take what's yours, I want to hear about it. What's justice mean to you? And do you think the law really protects the little guy? Drop your story in the comments and let's see if we can outnumber the crazies, one good neighbor at a time.